Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Less Hustle, More Profit Membership Week. Oh my goodness. I kind of pulled a 360 here because I'm also live streaming on my YouTube channel, Makers Gonna Learn. I've been bragging on it all week, and I wanted to share with all the creative entrepreneurs this conversation. I am so excited to be doing a live membership panel today with all of you, sharing what it's like to be a membership site owner. There's so many people here this week that have been telling me they want to transition from one-on-one coaching, from service-based, and really start creating a community and being able to monetize all their knowledge to serve even more people. And over the last decade, myself and my guest, Edie Wadsworth, has been building a membership, and it's truly transformed our entire lives. I'm so excited to have her here today to share her story, to share why she chose membership. I think for a lot of you, you're going to be able to see yourself in both my transformation and Edie's, what we each have built, which is totally separate and totally different, and so beautiful. I'm so excited to have you guys here. So if you have questions throughout this entire conversation, please drop your specific questions in the comments. What we're going to do today is we're going to let Edie introduce herself for everyone that is not familiar. It's kind of crazy. I have such a great business friend and mentor here in my little town of Morristown. It's so good. And this is going to be such a great conversation. So Edie, welcome to the studio.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, should we tell everyone that we just about half killed ourselves at our workout this morning?
We work out together and it's so much fun every day.
I guess you could call it fun. Okay.
I'm really hurting today.
I am too. Me too. But I am really happy to be here. Thank you.
So glad to be here. I've been over at your studio 2 times
Twice.
lately. So good. I'm so glad you're here.
I know.
Tell people that have never heard of you, who you are, and what you do.
Okay. I'm Edie Wadsworth. I started out as a family physician. So I worked as a medical doctor for 10 years.
We have a lot of physicians and medical practitioners here at Membership Week.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah. Yes, they are like on fire.
Oh, listen, you're going to love my story then, you guys, because I actually loved practicing medicine. There were so many parts about it that I loved, but I always kind of felt like I'm not getting to bring my full set of gifts to the table. And after I'd been practicing about 10 years, we had 4 kids at home at the time, and Stevie and I are both physicians, so we knew that one of us needed to sort of be at the home base. Yeah. The 2 older kids were going to sports all the time, and then we had the littles, and so I decided to quit my job.
Crazy.
And stay home, and actually ended up homeschooling my 2 youngest girls. And that transition for me was crazy because I think, especially if you do have lots of professional people here, when you give up that thing that has defined you, that has, you have felt like, oh, this is my source of purpose and meaning in the world, it was really difficult for me. So what I did was I started online blogging to kind of blog our journey of homeschooling. And I loved creating a home and a family, and I loved kind of blogging the journey. So I started blogging online probably about 15 years ago. I think you and I might have been, I feel like I'm the grandma of blogging. But that led to a book deal a few years later, and then led to a crazy journey where I ended up trying to heal my own self from some wounds of my past. I ended up in sort of the life coaching space. Yeah. And I knew as soon as I kind of fell into all of this life coaching stuff and self-development, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually what I already have been doing, and kind of what I'm called to do and how I'm called to help people. Kind of putting a name to what you already were doing. To like, oh, this is what I do. This is it. Yeah. And I realized that is kind of what I had been doing even in medical practice. A lot of what I was doing was really helping people with their life stuff. Yes. And so after I found that, I decided, even as a medical doctor, to go get certified as a life coach. Crazy. And I wanted to create something. So I kind of started out doing this sort of beta program where I just gathered, I wanted to create like a small group coaching program, and the materials that I created, I wanted to see like, how does this land for people? Does this really help them in the way that I think it will? So I started with 20 people, We did 8 weeks together. It was so incredible, you guys, that I knew I had to create something where I could help a lot more people.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful that I decided to create a membership. I had no idea back then, really,
We met right around the time
that I started it.
that you were starting your membership.
Yes.
I remember talking to you about yearly versus monthly and like just all the logisticals of membership, which is kind of nuanced.
And it's funny because I knew that I had gathered a community around me the years that I had been blogging, and I knew that they needed what I had been finding.
Yeah.
But I knew that if they were like me, and a lot of them were, they'd be like, what? Life coaching? That's so weird. And I thought, introducing it in the form of a membership would make it more financially accessible, but also just more accessible to them in their brains. Like, I kind of know what that is.
It's like a gym membership.
It's kind of like a gym membership, but for your heart and soul. Yes. And so I started that in 2019. This month is actually, or September is actually our 5-year anniversary of my membership. Yeah. And it has been just the hugest blessing to the women that we serve. It has allowed us, I think that's what's so beautiful about a membership, is it allows a lot more people access to something at a price that feels accessible to them.
Yes.
Whereas what I had been doing is like, paying thousands of dollars to hire coaches, to get training.
To get into small, intimate rooms. Instead of mass.
Serving a lot more people at one time. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that people get very daunted by about creating space for more people, more impact. You're really kind of having to pre-decide that you want to hold that much space, right? To have a community of people. It's very scary. There's so many different places I want to go with your story.
Yeah.
The first thing that I really want to kind of illustrate and touch on for everyone here, because there's so many people in the middle of their 10x jump, right?
Yeah.
When you are ready to level up, kind of what has worked for you in the past isn't going to work for the future you.
Yeah.
And that happened for me in my story when I was doing a ton of freelance work. I ended up losing 2 6-figure contracts. It felt like my world was falling apart. I had been building this, at that point for multiple years with Courtney, a thriving website and blog and brand deals and all that. And I was like, this isn't working. I want more control. It was one thing for me. I wanted to be able to serve way more people, and I wanted to know them. Yes. I didn't want to work for the client. I didn't want to work for the brand. I wanted to work for the people. For the people. I want to hear from the people, direct to consumer. Yeah. So that was part of me having to burn the boats. But for you, I see 2 very distinct leaps that you had to take. One, when you left being a physician.
Yeah.
And then second, to build the membership from your Young Living practice, in your Young Living career.
Yeah.
Because when you are in an industry like that, at your heart and soul.
Yeah.
And you had to you didn't have to leave it, but you had to make space to hold both.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? What it felt like for you to decide to level yourself up when things are going so good? Because everyone here, I've said all week, people that are at membership week are top performers.
Right.
They are at the top of their career. They're maxing out. That's why they're here.
Yeah.
They're ready for it. What would you tell someone that knows they want to level up?
Yeah, when the transition that I made from practicing medicine to doing sort of online work required a huge shift in my self-concept, because you would think to yourself, well, you were already a medical doctor, so you had the confidence there. But when you transition from doing that, because the first shift I actually made, and you mentioned it, was that my own health crashed, which led me to finding natural health, to finding Young Living. And then I ended up kind of accidentally building a 6-figure Young Living business.
Crazy. At
which
home.
is crazy. From home.
This is when, by the way, y'all.
Yeah.
This is when Edie became the queen of Morristown. Everyone knows Dr. Edie. That's where
it's a weird transition to make, you guys, from actual respected medical doctor to Appalachian medicine woman peddling oils and supplements out of your trunk. Yeah.
But you were everyone, how many people would you say had enrolled under you?
Oh my gosh, 10,000? Like so many people.
Crazy.
So many people over the years have.
So people, and this is what I want to illustrate for people. You were at the top of your game.
Yep. Yes. But it's kind of like what you're saying. In both of those instances, in the instance of my medical career, I had very little control over my schedule. And I really wanted that freedom. I wanted to be with my babies, and I wanted to show up at every game, and I wanted to go to, on field trips, and I just wanted to be accessible to my kids. And I just didn't have the leeway of doing that, and believing that it would be possible for me to create something where I had more lifestyle freedom. I think for maybe a lot of people who are in membership week, you're thinking to yourself, I've got a steady thing here.
Yep.
It's going really well. To give that up and then, really take a bet on myself and pour into something else, like that takes some serious courage.
Yes.
And so that first leap, I mean, it took me a while to really step into that next version of myself. And then when I went from, I had just been helped so much in the natural health world that it wasn't hard for me to teach the stuff that I was teaching. But I'm sure it was like other people would be like, that's so weird that, she's a medical doctor and now she's
what is she doing?
Totally pivoted to natural health. And then when I made the next pivot, and the reason that we often pivot professionally is because we're pivoting personally.
Right.
So here's what happened. I started feeling so much better physically, so much energy in my life that I'm like, okay, now what's next? What do I want to do? How do I want to help people? And so it was naturally like, oh, okay, definitely this life coaching thing. After I got healthy enough physically and started to get healthy mentally and emotionally, I just wanted to help women in my age,
that next level,
experience that kind of freedom. And for me, what it required was really doing a lot of mindset work around my beliefs about what I thought was possible for me.
Right.
And again, you might think, well, you already were a physician, but that might have made the transition a little bit easier, but transferring that belief to something totally different feels hard because, again, being a physician is respected. Being a life coach, maybe not so much. And here's the other thing. When you are okay with it, everybody else is okay with it.
So true.
So when you settle into that belief and you settle into, no, this is how I can help people. This is my dream for how I use my gifts in the world. When I was okay with it, then everybody else is okay with it. And even the few people that aren't, it doesn't shake you anymore because you're like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is so amazing. Yes. And the lifestyle that doing that has given me, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh, it's so good. I love you and your business because it is more so about a lifestyle business that allows you to be expansive in your personal life and serve more people. Yep. And I think a lot of people here at Membership Week, I taught on day 3 all about pricing, and pretty much the goal is to not burn down what's working for you now. However, you're making your income and revenue. We teach a very specific process on whatever your revenue is now and the way you do it. We're not taking that away, quitting. We're adding to it. We're adding, your own membership. Yep. And then as you build that up, you get to decide from a super empowered place what you want to do from that. So whether you want to not renew a client contract or you want to stop one-on-one or whatever that is, as you grow, what happened for me was I knew I had to obviously pay my bills. I have been financially supporting myself and my mom since, I was like 13, which is a whole other day.
A whole amazing story that I love. A whole other
story. So I didn't quit any of that. I started working on my membership in the evenings. And my membership really wasn't a creative realm, but it wasn't crafters that used the Cricut. It was general craft. And I was like, I'm going to target cricketers and really do a little pivot. And my crafters were like, why would I buy this machine? I'm like, well, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why. And really just pivoted my content, still doing what I was originally doing, but really focusing in on this machine. I think for some of us, the way that we are used to running our business, we'll have a little pivot, but it's more personal, so much less for your customer and your audience. that, as I built the membership, I was able to then be like, okay, I got to decide if I wanted to renew more of these freelance contracts or things that are not scalable with our time. One concept I've taught this week that I think has blew a lot of people's mind and why I chose membership. I was reading a book. I don't remember what book it was, but it pretty much laid out the concept of a membership where you are serving such at a high level that whether you have 50 members, 500 or 2, you're doing almost the same work. It scales, you're creating a revenue stream that is very scalable with your impact. And we could talk more logistics like customer support, things like that. But when it comes to your teaching, your philosophy and everything like that, you get to create it and it's available at the beginning. So I think about the foundations that both of us have built. Our new members that just join are getting to benefit so much more. No matter if they've been a member from day one or they just joined, there's so much. So whether if you're starting small and you're going to grow the membership or you already have an audience and you can just like add it, either way, the content you create now, is go pay dividends. That original group, I would love to go back to the original group of 20 people.
Yeah.
When you decided to do that, how did it feel? Did it feel messy? Did you know what did you feel like you knew what you were doing?
No, because absolutely not.
Let's just stop right there. How did you decide? Because we have people here that have spent this week, they have their notebook, they have their workbook, and they have ideas. How did you decide that you were going to do it anyway? Because I look back and I try to figure this out for myself.
For yourself.
I don't know. It was from a place that I just felt so on fire that I was meant to do it.
Yeah, and I had been so transformed by what I was about to teach. Like I had lived these concepts in my own life, and it helped me move past a really difficult story that I'd been telling myself about my past. It helped me move past money mindset issues. It transformed my relationships. It transformed the way I dealt, the way I, related to my kids. It had transformed so many things in my life that I felt like somehow I got to get this out to people. But I also thought, let's do it in a kind of a smaller group because I just want to test my ideas.
Yes. It had a start date and an end date.
It had a start date and an end date. And I think that was for me a beautiful way to start. The other thing that I don't know if you may know, but we were supposed to start the group on January 25th or 27th or something like that. And we got the call on January 22nd that Miss Irene had died and we were getting full custody of Thomas.
Wow.
So right when I was about to start this brand new thing that I was unsure about.
Yeah.
And I almost canceled it. And I thought, well, this can't be the right timing then. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that I did it because I needed it. I needed to go through the material again. I needed to remember those mindset things and those emotional things that I was about to teach.
Yeah.
And I look back now and go, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for the timing of it. It seemed like the worst timing at the time. But
it's funny you bring that up because a lot of friends here that I've got to hear and get to coach, they are telling themselves all the reasons
why it's not the right time.
Now it's not the right time.
Right.
And now's not, you know what I mean? Circumstantially, a lot of times it's not the right time.
Yes.
It's really funny how similar our story is. Mm-hmm. I tested with a $27 workshop. I teach my clients how to do that as well. We call it a pilot workshop because it is, you're like piloting it off. So it's like a very stress-free way. You have a start time, you have an end time. It could be an hour class. I accidentally did mine as like a 6-week course for $27. But it really made people fall in love. We sold like a lot, way more than I expected. But I really love what you were saying about the circumstances because we've heard. I mean, a lot of people are here and they're telling us, I have all the different reasons, all the different family stuff, all of it, right? What would you have said to yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's never the right time.
Never feels like that. But here's what I will say. To me, and I know this more in retrospect than I knew it at the time.
moment.
But those obstacles, it reminds me of the book, The Obstacle is the Way. What if the version of you that overcomes those obstacles, that is sort of the pathway to the next version of you? So what if the version of me that can increase my own capacity to hold space for what's going on with Tom, to hold space for this group of people that I'm leading through this program.
Yeah.
Like I became a different person because of that. And that to me is the point.
Yes.
You know, business to me is such a great personal growth tool. It challenges us. It makes us run right up against our limiting beliefs and our fears and our doubts and our insecurities and I love that. I love that. When I see an obstacle, I'm like, oh, who is the version of me where this is not an obstacle anymore?
Yes.
And who is the version of me where I don't make excuses? And I don't even think if I had decided not to do it, I wouldn't have even called that an excuse. But I'm also thankful that I stepped into something that felt hard for sure. But then I became the person who that no longer was an obstacle. And it just paved the pathway for such a beautiful. Here's the crazy thing. So I almost didn't start the membership, and the membership has been the thing over the past 5 years that has given me so much time freedom with Tom.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Like, doesn't that blow your mind? So when he gets home from school, I can spend hours with him.
Doing homework, doing hiking.
We can hike. We can go on the four-wheeler. We can go on the jet ski. We can, and I've been able to provide, like, literally, if you look at the way we have spent our time together in the afternoons, it's been like therapy for both of us, and therapy that we both have needed, being outside, being together, doing things that are active. I don't think I would have had the same freedom, the same...
No.
If I hadn't started the membership. So the crazy thing is, again, the obstacle is the way. This feels like an obstacle to starting the membership, but then the membership paves this beautiful business that gives me this lifestyle where I can pour into this little guy who's not so little anymore, but so that I have so much time freedom to pour into him. And so think about that for yourself. Like, what if the obstacle that you're placing in your path right now paves the way so that is no longer, not only is it no longer the obstacle, but it actually gives you the thing that you're looking for.
Ooh, I love that. I love it. It's so good. When you were thinking about membership, what was the hardest thing that you felt like you had to overcome to be a membership site owner? What was the hardest confusing part for you? Like, what felt like impossible? What felt like really challenging?
Yeah.
I've had some people come to me and say, Tanner, they may have sold one-off courses and they're like, it's a recurring, like I have to show up. I think a lot of people here are in this place where they're like, if I do a membership, like it's forever.
It's never ending.
It's never ending.
I have to just keep showing up. Yeah.
And it is a commitment, but I also, for me, what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to give this my all for 3 months. I'm going to build up, I built the demand with my pilot workshop, my little small course, got a lot of feedback. But then when I went to launch, I was like, okay, I need 60 people, and I'm just going to show up for 3 or 4 months and work to grow that. And whether it's as fast or as slow as it is, it's if I can hit that number, I know I'm set. Like, I know I can continue. It's worth it for me to keep going. So I call that like the minimal number.
Yeah.
We ended up surpassing that really quickly, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think whatever number a lot of you are thinking you possibly could do, you're probably not giving yourself enough credit, right? Like, you probably have way more people in your circle, in your realm of influence, that want what you have, that want to be the current version of you, which is what for most of us we're teaching, is like how I got here, right? Like, that's the secret sauce. What was it for you? What was that hard?
It's interesting. I do resonate with kind of what you're saying, where you feel like, oh my gosh, if I do that, this is forever. But I think that you take that and realize, like, okay, of course, that's what your brain is offering you, right? Because your brain doesn't want to do the work to create the thing. So your brain is going to give you all kinds of beliefs and negative thoughts and negative whatever. And it's interesting because I had some of that too. I think a lot of times with memberships, if you're not careful, you can get yourself from that thought. you can get yourself on a crazy content treadmill.
Yes.
Where you feel like I'm kind of a slave to creating. And I went through that. What's next? And I have definitely, experienced that too. But what if you decided like, oh my gosh, this opportunity is such an amazing opportunity where I can keep growing, keep showing up, keep using my gifts. Like, think about anybody else in any other job. We wouldn't do that to ourselves. Like, when I started practicing medicine, I didn't think to myself, oh my gosh, this is just going to be forever that I have to keep doing this. We don't do that with other things, But I do think we tend to do it with something like this. And I would just be careful when your mind keeps offering you that. You get to decide what you want to think about this. So what if starting a business like this is the key that opens the door to everything you actually want in your life? What if it's the key to your clients getting their most amazing transformation?
Yeah.
Like, I look at it now and go, this feels like a miracle to me.
Yes.
Like, this program feels like a miracle to me. I was in my Facebook group earlier this morning looking at comments, and it's insane.
Isn't it so special?
It's so special.
I will never forget. So we launched our membership with pretty much no content other than 30 pieces of art. So in my Makers Gonna Learn membership, we give artwork, files, classes, courses, curriculum, all of it. Community. Community is like the one thing that people are like, I would pay 4 times for this just for the community.
Yes.
Which is crazy. I'll never forget. I was shopping with my mamaw, and I had just launched. I was trying to explain to her what I was doing. No one really understands.
Nope.
Which is fine.
That's okay.
And I was shopping with her, and it was within the first week of launch in the community, and I saw someone use the art to make a project. And like that moment where I was like, whoa, like someone used what I provided. And what's funny is I've spoke with a lot of content creators who are on this content treadmill of like create and like view, like trying to get views, and they feel like where they're making their money off affiliate deals or ads and things like that they have to get all these page views. And membership's like the complete opposite.
Yep.
You are going out in the world and you are finding the right customer, the right client who wants a real transformation.
Yep.
And a membership, I think, is beautiful because it's very mutual. You are showing up every month. You are showing up with your staff. You are showing up with your team and what you have to provide. And then your client meets you there.
Yes.
And they're ready to do the work.
Yes.
Like, I think about when we pay for the gym.
Yeah.
Like, we did something really hard today.
Yep.
But we chose to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we paid for it. And like, they get to see our transformation, and we get to show up every day to work on it. And we show up messy. We show up, at our best day and our worst day, we're still showing up. And that's what I love about a membership, for all of the different transformations that we have here. What was the number one thing that helped you really decide membership over anything else? Because there's so many ways. There's so many different ways to make money online.
And I had some small courses that I had sold. When you're doing a course, there's usually, you can deliver it live, that one time, but usually if you're doing a course, there's not that
there's no community
live element, no community.
Yeah.
It's not like you're doing it together. And what I knew about the material that I was teaching, because again, teaching women how to really believe in themselves, teaching confidence and mindset and emotional regulation and relationships and habits, I knew that these were things that women do much better together.
Yes.
And I wanted to create something where it felt like we're all going through this month together. So I kind of designed my membership where every month we cover a different topic. We kind of organize it into quarters. Every month we cover a different topic. So they get the teaching for the topic. And then we have the live coaching. We have small encounter groups. We created a planner to kind of help them live out the stuff that they're learning. Yeah. But we get to do it together in real time. So for example, this summer, we were teaching a lot about, kind of like what you're saying, a lot about how do you want to show up? And our habits are a way that we can just decide ahead of time, like, this is how I want to show up to my life. This is how I want to show up to my health, to my family. And we had some discussions about it being summertime. And, how do we want to show up in our lives this summer? And a lot of women were saying, like, I've gotten to the point where I don't even go to the pool. I won't even get in anymore. I won't even put a swimsuit on because I don't like the way I feel, or I don't like the way I look, or whatever. And we have had so many story after story after story of, my summer was so incredible because I actually got in the water. I put my swimsuit on and I did this thing with my family and I stopped worrying so much about myself and I decided, how I want to show up to the world. Yeah. And so doing that together feels so empowering. So I knew that I wanted to do something that felt more like an experience.
Yeah.
Kind of a live together experience of something in a community versus they're doing a course and I don't know where they are in the course, and I don't know what transformation they got. This feels like the closest thing to like what we experience together at the gym in real life. It feels like the closest thing to that. And then, like you do for your community and like we do for ours, we do have live events.
Yeah.
And so the crazy thing is that these women who have bonded together over Zoom, whether that's in a live coaching call or that's in a small group together, when they see each other in person,
it's like
it is
magic.
Insane. Everybody's crying, they're screaming and hugging each other and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you, or you're looking at somebody like, I think that's her. That looks like the way she looks on Zoom. Yeah. And so we have been able to take our community even deeper by, creating these live events. And to be honest, we have so many people at our live event in June said, I've been in this membership 3 years. I've been here 4 years. I've been here since the beginning. Yeah. And it becomes this really rich, empowering community in your life. Like for our women, this is a huge part of their lives.
Yes.
And it just makes me so thankful that we have the technology that even makes it possible, that we have people like you who are teaching people how to do it. I wish I had you. I did have you, but we didn't all have it as nearly as much figured out as we do now. So those of you who are going through this, like take advantage of this, you guys. Don't give yourself the excuse that it needs to be a different time. It needs to be when whatever, because I could have done that. I think just get started and you'll figure it out along the way. And the way my membership looked 5 years ago is so different than it looks now. But we have just been able to, we were beginners back then. We did what we knew, and we just kept listening to our people and serving them harder and showing up for them. And then the way they show up.
Best. Yesterday I taught on, first of all, I love hearing no. I think that's like hearing why people are not wanting to join, not able to join. Like I love getting to the no place. Like that tells me that you're putting yourself out there, you're marketing, you're reaching enough people. But the second thing that I think a lot of people who teach membership get wrong is that they don't focus enough on listening to the actual members.
Yes.
And continually asking yourself, like, can I contribute more? And what is it? And listening to your members to better the program. Like
they're the ones who will tell you.
They're going to tell you. Like if you're worried about do I have enough? Do I need, any of that? Just ask them. Like,
and don't you find,
much.
I know you find this is true, but here's what I find. We're always worried about, I need to be giving them more. Mm-hmm. Our people are often like feeling a little overwhelmed by all the content.
Yes, 1,000%. Like they want more. I think the best people, when it comes to a teacher, can explain it fundamentally to anyone, right? Yeah. Like to a kindergartner. Like I think about that and I'm like, doesn't mean they overteach. It means that they can explain it so well and make it clear, right? Like when we think about, any type of teaching and program, like we want it to be so rich.
Yep.
And it doesn't and what that means isn't 5 hours.
Yes.
It could be however long it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because we as creators want to be like, we have this, and this.
Yeah.
Instead of, I'll help you with this result.
Right.
And the simplest process to get you a result is what our job is to do.
Yes.
Right? We want to talk about there's 800 hours of
teaching in here. Yeah.
Instead of here is exactly what you need to get this result. And I think if we all focused on the client transformation, doing everything we need to help them with that transformation, then it would give all of us more permission to go harder to get started sooner because it's probably a lot less than what people are thinking.
Yes.
What
And
did you
giving them
start? What did
tools-
you start with your membership? Tell me this. Like, let's get down a little more granular. You started your membership off the back end of your trial program with the 20
Yes.
people.
Yes.
What did you do? Was there any curriculum for yours
So
that was built?
what I had done, it's crazy because I really wanted to write my second book about how I healed from trauma and how I healed from my past. I wanted to write a book about how I had made peace with my life and was ready to move on. And so I joined a program to create the book, and it was like this bait and switch. She's like, okay, so you're going to write the chapters to your book. And when we got the book done, she goes, instead of publishing this as a book, gather some people together and take them through the curriculum, make it into a
Program.
live
Wow.
program. And so that's what I did with those first 20 people. And so I didn't even know what to charge. I charged $1,000. I'm like, you're going to spend 8 weeks with me in this very intimate container. We're going to go over these 12 chapters, which became like the 12 months of the year that I teach now in the program. We're going to go through it together. And that's really what I started with, was those book chapters of it was basically how I healed my life and rewrote my story and started really living in my purpose. And so I took those first 20 people through that. And then when I started the coaching program, we just started with those teachings. I used the same teachings that I had used with the 20 people and just started taking more people through it, adding live coaching calls. And then over the years, we just tried to figure out, we've added a lot of content, of course, but the main things we like to add now are anything that helps our client get better results.
Love it.
Whether that's, we created, before we had a planner, we would do these workbooks that would give them stuff to do. Then we turned that into a planner. And then we realized that they needed a little more intimacy because our membership grew to, it's over 2,000 people now. So we wanted to keep giving them this intimate experience of having 15 or 20 people on Zoom or whatever. So we created sort of these small groups within the group. Those two things alone, I think, have added so much that our clients get so many results so fast, so much faster than they used to. And even though, again, we love providing content, and if I, feel like, now I know so much more, I want to teach this in a new and different way, then I will.
Yes.
But I used to always think like, this would be crazy, but maybe they need teaching every week or whatever. But I find that giving them some teaching, but then giving them plenty of time and space to implement that, to integrate that into their lives, coaching calls where they can come and ask me questions or whatever. So all of that has really helped. But I would say tools that help them implement what you're teaching instead of more teaching all the time.
Yes. I look back and I'm like, I would have never thought my membership would be where it is today. It's like a legit, you know what I mean? Like, it's meaty.
Yeah.
We got,
so much good stuff in there.
Yeah. Like, I built my version 1 website for our membership, like overnight, one night. And then I was like, okay. And then when we got to really start building it out, we had a version 2 website. And then over the last year and a half, 2 years, almost reaching 2 years, we did a complete overhaul of our membership site.
Yeah.
And the platform looks 20 times better. It's a dream platform. But how we started was with one sales page, not a full website. Like, people think we need a website, we need this. I'm like, no, I had a sales page and I had a back end.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I had one dashboard.
It's so funny that you say
crazy?
that, Tanner, because we still don't have a robust website. We have a landing page.
Yeah.
But when you think about how you can really serve the people that you love, we focus so much on things that don't matter to them.
Right.
Instead of, how can I do the things that matter most to the people I'm serving so that they get the results they want and not worry so much about, what does my website look like?
Yes.
And, all of that. So I totally agree. I think we are so often focused on the things
that don't really help
matter.
them.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's more so about us and what we look like and what's for, what people are going to think about us instead of the client result. So, for those of you that are on the fence about membership, ask yourself, is going to serve the future client. And notice that, this isn't a conversation about like, you have to have this big of an audience before you can have a membership. That's really not true. Edie and I both have backgrounds on online space, but it's still been a challenge to learn marketing. And the easiest way to learn how to do it is to do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
It is. And I will say this. I mean, I have said to people, and I do believe this is true, but let me make a caveat. I do believe that you need to love marketing to do online business of any kind. You definitely need to train yourself how to love marketing if you're doing a membership. But the best marketing is great delivery.
1,000%.
So the best marketing is when I deliver an amazing product to the clients I already have, and then they go, oh my word, you have to be in this program.
Yes.
And that has been great. So the better we have gotten at getting our clients results, delivering to them, like you said earlier, being in conversation with them so that we're hearing them, what they need, and where they're getting stuck.
And it's go 10x, because if you can figure out the few things your clients need, when you deliver the fullness of that to the client, when I put that in the membership, I'll never forget, we didn't have true curriculum for the first year or two.
Yeah.
But when we started asking them like what they needed, they wanted full curriculum on how to use the machine.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, that should definitely be there, because I had designed it originally for people already loving their Cricut to like put gas on it like even more. But there were so many people that didn't feel like they could join because they didn't know how to use it.
Right.
So when we built our 30 days to master your Cricut challenge, it served the however many thousand clients that we had then.
Yes.
So well. They were obsessed with it. They paid for the membership without it, and they got a free gift. But here's the beautiful thing of a membership and why I love it outside of anything else. When you figure out those things that really help your clients get better results, when you put it into the marketing, our enrollments, because people are like, that's what I need. Like, that's what it is. Like, I need this.
Yes.
So it helps both ends. It helps get new people that were on the fence over the fence inside.
Yes.
The people that are already in it. That's how every year we evolve.
Yep.
We just listen and we develop, and that's how we have our teams to help build out beautiful workbooks and things. But neither of us didn't have no beautiful workbooks when we launched. Like, that is not
gosh,
like
no. No.
Like, we just
And I would totally agree with you that now when we are creating marketing, we do paid launches, paid workshops once a quarter. And we design those so that they are great for both, to bring people in and expose them to our work and help them see how we can help them, but also to take our current clients deeper in the work. 100%. And I think doing that kind of marketing that serves both people, to me, is so powerful, because you have these two groups of people in a room, one group of people that has been in your world doing the work and want to go deeper and want like a concentrated time to do that. And then you have people who have no idea what you are, who you are and how you serve and what you do. And it gives you this way to really serve both people at one time. So I love thinking about the marketing that way, that this is a way that I serve my current clients. I serve clients ahead of time who have not been in my world yet.
Yeah, I think about my YouTube channel that way. It's like, if you go to my channel and look at any video, it's always using pieces of our membership. Yes. So like the members are going to get the best impact, the best change, but you can still be transformed through the free video. Yeah. You're not going to get the same experience as a member, of course. So that is like helping them ahead of time.
Yes.
And I have this concept, people ask like, Tanner, like, how did you grow your YouTube channel to almost 1 million subscribers? The answer is the membership. Yeah. Because I had to promote myself to CEO of the membership to lay everything else down, to give this, piece of work, this whole library of work, to even grow to that. Like, if I didn't have, the membership and people to serve, I would have never had the time to put in to my membership, right? Like, I am so grateful for that initial group, the initial people that said yes, so that I could continually show up for them and the future people, which has just been incredible. For you, what would you say for someone that's on the fence that may have a membership or may want a membership and they can't even fathom having a true community of 100 or 200? Like,
Yeah.
what would you tell them?
I mean, I love the idea of doing something like a beta program where
Yeah.
you try it out with, you gather a group of people. I love the way I started mine. It gave me exactly the confidence that I needed to go, oh, this is going to be great. This is really going to help people.
And I think if you've never sold, for anyone here that's never sold a digital good, a digital transfer, doing a group like that is so incredible.
Yeah.
And
I built it as I went. I mean, I did have the content, but I didn't have any videos anywhere.
Right.
So I did the teaching live.
You're paying for this. You're going to show up this day. We're going live. I'm teaching this. And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. We did a teaching call and a coaching call each week for 8 weeks. And we got through the
to know
content.
all of their concerns, all of their things. And this is what we teach inside our program in the accelerator, because we want you to see a value exchange.
Yep.
Your value. They're not paying Edie for really the time. They're paying her for the value, right?
Yep.
That exchange happens. And what's beautiful is our clients will do a workshop and they're like, I got 30 people in this workshop. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, I don't know where they even came from.
Yeah.
And then they do it. And then they're like, Tanner, I understand what their pain is more. We just had a yoga instructor local to here. She found me online. Didn't know her, but she's local. Her name's Jocelyn, and she just did her pilot workshop. She had like 20 people or so come, and she's like, Tanner, like, I get it. Like, I see the people. I see what I need. And it'll help you kind of like direct, like, pulse check.
Yes.
Because we are building all of this off of our past experience, our past confusion, our past, overcome, like what we've overcame.
Right.
But like when you do like an intimate class like this, kind of like pulse checks, like, oh, I'm really tracking good here. Oh, actually they're
struggling
still too
with
far
this
ahead.
more than,
Yeah. Like I'm too far ahead. I need to simplify this even more. So it'll just help you. And what I love is that those people are going to be the amazing founding members.
Yes.
Like those are the people that are going to be like, oh my gosh, like that's what I found. Like after I did my pilot workshop, I was like, I need a vacation.
Yep.
And then they all emailed me. I'll never forget this. They're like, well, what's next? It's like, what do you mean
You're
what's
like, I'm
next?
exhausted. I don't know.
I was like, what do you mean what's next? And then that happened for me around the same time. August was when I launched the pilot workshop. And then by November, I had built out the whole membership. And I was like, here we go, Lord. And that's what we did. It was crazy.
It's crazy too. I'm so grateful because when I started mine, you had already been doing yours. I can't remember how long. 2 years.
So we launched in November of 2017.
Of 2017. So you had been in it for 2 years. And the Lord just brought the two of us together so that we could celebrate and cry on each other's shoulder, but mostly just brainstorm and, keep each other going. So I'm really thankful. But I'm telling you, don't hesitate to do it. It's such a beautiful business model. Is it going to require work? Yes. Are you going to have to overcome obstacles and limiting beliefs you have about yourself?
1000%.
Yes. But don't you want to become the person who did that? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I was telling them all yesterday, like we did a lot of like brainstorming on their communities and like how many people they would love to have and what they would be doing with them. And like I found my notes. I was on an airplane and I was like, what if I had 300 members?
Yep.
Like I look back at that note and I'm like, I wish I could tell like that version of me, like
wish I could tell baby Tanner,
like we have a community of like 11,000, 10,000, however many.
Yep.
I'm like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
By just showing up every day, membership is that 1% improvement. So if you've been on the fence, I just invite you to like go all in on yourself. I never want to look back on anything I did and feel like I didn't bet on myself. I think all of you watching, whether you're watching the replay or live with us, you'll know that this is right for you or not. We'd love to have you work with us. If you've talked to one of our success coaches, reach back out to them. If you have questions, if you haven't, fill out your application. We'd love to work with you, or we'd just like to support you in your own membership journey along the way.
Okay, I have one more thing to say.
Tell us.
You guys, I have invested so much into
Edie's like
into myself, building my
amazing.
business. But I'm going to tell you something. One of the most valuable things that I have is I have access to Tanner. Your ideas are incredible. And the people who would have the opportunity to be coached by you and mentored by you, it's a huge, huge gift. And I have the benefit of just having a friendship where, I have that all the time, but I don't think I've ever met anybody. I do have one more friend who is probably as energetic and has so many ideas. But what I love about you is that you have such a good vision. I think because you've been doing it yourself for so long, like there are things that I get stumped by, in my business, in my membership, and you're always like, oh, for sure, you got to do this and you should do this and try this. Like so many times I can think of ideas that you gave me that have worked so well. So these amazing people in this challenge are so blessed to have, I think, what you have learned over the past 7 years, what you have learned from trial and error and from a lot of success, and they get to take that and not make a lot of those same mistakes and kind of distill it down. Like, I love that they get this opportunity. So.
I mean, I've been, just to be super transparent, I've thought about this program in this room since about 2020. And I've been thinking about it and just going through my own transformation of creating this space of business, because I love what I've done. I've loved what it's allowed me to do. We just adopted 3 babies.
Yes.
That I look back and, through the foster care journey, I look back and me and Courtney all the time talk about how if we did not have an amazing business model, an amazing business that has allowed us to show up to all of the appointments and to do all of the things and to say yes to 3 beautiful children.
Yes.
It would not have been possible if we didn't build this business. And I feel like there's so many more people out there that want to level themselves up. So that's why we do it. I was telling inside the program on Wednesday, I was like, listen, y'all, if I have had this on my heart to do since 2020, if you want to see someone that is still every day, marketing away and testing different things, I am still doing it. I'm still in it. It's so much fun. We do it in the craft company. We do it, here at Less Hustle. We love helping our clients to, make back their investment and then 10x it easily. So that's what we love doing. It's so fun. Edie, thanks for being here. This has been so good. I'm going to be using this for all the people that come through and are just questioning, is membership for them? So this is going to be something that we use for years and years to come. We do have a question. Is there a preferred platform to work with membership? Yeah, Ed, what I did was I used my back end of my WordPress site to build that first version and iteration. Edie uses Kajabi.
Yep.
If you're end up working with us, we have taken all of our top performing funnels and landing pages and we've put it into software that you get access to. You get over a year's worth if you end up working with our team. It's like amazing concierge tech support. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
At all that we do inside the program for
and having
coaching.
You guys, just having that where you don't have to worry about all of that is crazy. I can't imagine if I had that kind of thing from the beginning where you've got the landing pages and the funnels and the, all of that. We've had to build all of that out. So that's a huge perk.
We love it. We love it, love it, love it. But thank you guys so much for being here. This has been such an amazing membership week. We are going to send out all the replays of all the days. You can still download your workbook. You can still go through the curriculum this weekend. I am so excited for you. We have some other amazing success stories coming next week, so be sure to check your email. We are super, super excited for you. Be sure to watch the replays. If you're ready to take the next step, fill out the application to chat with my team. You'll be paired with either Katie, Calvin, or Shaylin. They're all incredible, amazing, amazing people that do this every day, where they help you see where you're at, where you want to go, and what it looks like to really get there. So if you're ready to do that, book your success call. Super amazing, no cost to you, just to talk all about you. And I don't know about you, but it's I love the idea of taking some time to really step into that visionary space. And that's what we do on the call. I've instructed them on exactly what I would do so that we can give you all the love. So the link is lesshustlemoreprofit.com/apply. They'll help you if you are interested in working with us or just need that clarity on what those next steps are. Another thing I want to share, if you're watching and you're like, I missed out on membership week, we've we've linked it down below. So you can go sign up. We'll send you all the replays. But Edie, thank you so much for being here. This has been so fun.
So nice to be here. Thank you so much for your friendship. And onward and
Love
forward
it.
we go with our memberships.
So good. You're going to love it. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you back here real soon. Bye, guys.